So it's nice to be reporting some good news on this channel. Adonis Stevenson has given his first interview since before he fought, what was a Vodcek back in December. Now, as we all know, he lost the Vodcek fight and he sustained some brain injuries in that fight. And he was in a coma for several weeks, I think maybe even several months. And, we got little snippets of Adonis Stevenson here and there that, he was, just starting to learn how to walk again. He was being able to walk unaided. He was listening to music. He was uttering a few words. But now, thankfully, we have an actual interview with Adonis Stevenson. Now, he is speaking in French in it, but he's actually able to walk. He's speaking in French. He says at the end that the Superman is back. And, for all intents and purposes, he looks good. Obviously, you can see the picture on screen there. There's a massive scar on Adonis Stevenson's head. That's from where they opened the brain, obviously. And with Adonis Stevenson, he's very, very, very lucky. I can't stress that enough, because a lot of times when fighters have brain injuries, in the event of someone like a Nick Blackwell, when he had that brain injury against Eubank Jr., his brain didn't need to be opened. They didn't touch his head. It was all well and good. I think the second time when he had the sparring session, excuse me, and then he had the injury again, then they opened it. Nick Blackwell has gone on to make a recovery, but even still, he shouldn't have had the second injury to begin with. Spencer Oliver, he had a brain injury years back, and he has a scar on his head, but he's okay. He's a pundit on Sky now. But we have guys who haven't been as lucky, like Abdul Salamov. He had brain injury, and I think he's still in a very bad way. We have guys like Edward Goodneck, who, as y'all remember, fought George Groves a couple of years ago. He's still in a bad way as far as we're aware, and we hear absolutely no updates on them, unfortunately. So, it is, in more often than not, it's a case of if the brain's getting opened up, there's going to be problems. But thankfully, Adonis Stevenson seems to be okay. And, he said he actually wants to get into boxing coaching, which is nice to see that he still wants to have, some level of input in boxing, because, obviously he's never going to fight again, obviously, goes without saying. But, he'll get his fix in the gyms, and, it'd be definitely nice, and it's good to see. It's good to see Adonis Stevenson back talking, back living his life, and being able to live a normal life, because he's made a lot of money from boxing. He can live comfortably, because, as well as that, if there was any long-term injuries, that costs a lot of money, a hell of a lot of money. Look at Michael Schumacher, the Formula 1 driver. He suffered a brain injury there back in 2013, and his family were having to sell, jets and selling houses in Geneva just to be able to afford the treatment. And there's still no word on Michael Schumacher, obviously, to this day. But, it's nice to see Adonis Stevenson back. The one thing that's kind of annoying is I've seen a lot of people saying that Stevenson deserved it, that he was, abusive to women, this, that, and the other. Look, he was convicted of pimping offences when he was 23 years old. So we're talking nearly 20 years ago. He was convicted once, as far as I know, and that was it. He's never done it again. People make mistakes. People make mistakes. If everybody is perfect, then the world would be a very boring place, wouldn't it? I'm sure that everyone, me included, we've all made mistakes. We've all done silly things in the past. Let it go. The man has a family, so if you're saying he deserves it, so his family deserves to be put through all that? No. People who keep, criticising Stevenson, saying, oh, he deserves it, he should stay in a coma, he pimped women 20 odd years ago, and he's never done it again, and he's never shown any signs of being a bad person. His family don't deserve it, for one. You're saying he deserves his family going through hell. So, these people who go around commenting saying Stevenson deserves it, they're idiots. They're idiots. The main thing is Stevenson is back up. He seems healthy. He seems fit. He seems like, he can live a normal life, which is what we want to see. We don't want to see these brain injuries, but at the end of the day, they're always going to happen in sport like boxing. But the good thing is we see people like Stevenson make a recovery and can live their life. So it's good news. I'm happy to see. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like it if you did. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, I will talk to you after.